Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you. All right, welcome to another episode 140 of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I'm Charles McKaye, aka Charlie the Plug, and we are about bringing you weekly interviews of what we call difference makers who are serving in the Detroit metro area, in the area of community involvement or entrepreneurship, and they are sharing their positive contributions to our city. And so I'm excited because we have a great guest today and topic that we're going to be talking about. So before I get into our topic, I just want to say welcome for those who are joining us live on our various platforms on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And thank you for watching and supporting independent media, where we get to tell stories about what's going on here in the city of Detroit, in the metro area. And if you find value in what we're doing, I definitely want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and follow. And thank you for those who will be watching the replay on our various platforms. So welcome, happy Monday to everyone. Unfortunately, I didn't have a podcast last week. I was a little bit under the weather. There's been some type of bug going around. I'm feeling a lot better, so just want to give applause to that. But I'm here in my home studio, and we're doing a virtual interview with our guest tonight. Happy February, happy Black History Month, as we celebrate the contributions of those of African American descent to the contributions to this country, whether it's inventions, political contributions, civil rights, what have you. Happy Black History Month. Upcoming March, for those you don't know, is not only my birthday in March, but also we recognize Women's History Month as well, women. And in honor of that, we have a special guest who's going to be talking about something important, investing in future, particularly as a way to mentoring and women in mentoring. And I'm excited about today's guest. Before we get into the guest, just wanted to let people know this podcast is sponsored by Global Connecting Consultant. Let me put this slide up here and share a little bit about that, and we'll get into our podcast. Okay, all right. So, this podcast is brought to you by Bridget Williams Frazier and Global Connecting Consultant, your trusted guide through life's toughest challenges. Navigating difficult times can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to do it alone. Global Connecting Consultant offers more than just advice. It is a network of support, mentorship, and real-life experience to help you grow and succeed. Bridget Williams Frazier knows firsthand what it takes to overcome obstacles, and she's committed to empowering you to take control of your life, your relationships, your future. Whether you're facing adversity or just looking for clarity, she provides practical guidance and encouragement you need. It's time to stop struggling. Take the first step towards a bright future with Global Connecting Consultant. Reach out today, because growth starts with connection. The website there is www.globalcconsultant.com. That's www.globalcconsultant.com. Not only she is the leader of this organization that can help you get through life struggles, she is a published author and motivational speaker, mentor, and now the author of the transformational new book, Who Am I? In a world filled with uncertainty, where questions of purpose and identity linger, Bridget Williams Frazier delivers a book that will ignite your spirit and unlock the truth within. Who Am I? It's not just a book, it's a journey, a roadmap for those searching for direction, passion, and meaning in their lives. Through real life stories, powerful insights, and faith driven wisdom, Bridget shares the lessons she's learned, triumphs and challenges alike, showing you how to embrace your journey with clarity and confidence. Whether you're a student in need of a guidance, feeling somewhat lost, or just looking for inspiration, this book will meet you where you are and lead you to where you are meant to be. So, are you ready to discover your true self? Don't wait. Grab a copy of Who Am I today. Start your journey towards purpose and transformation. You can get the book on Amazon. Just simply type Who Am I and the author, Bridget Williams Frazier, to get your copy today. All right, so that is our ad sponsor for today. So that we want to thank you for sponsoring this episode 140. All right, now let's go into introducing our guests. I'm going to bring them to the stage. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for episodes 140, we're going to be talking about the topic, empowering futures, women's impact in mentoring. We are blessed to have our guest today. I want to turn off my phone, make sure. Sometimes I get calls when I'm streaming. We're blessed to have our guest today, who is currently the CEO and president of Southeast, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Southeast Michigan. Their main office is in Ypsilanti, I believe. And she's leading a great organization that's having a big impact. I like their slogan. It takes little to do something big. Mm-hmm. And she's going to share a little bit about her background. She's been in Michigan for some years now. We've grandfathered her in. She was originally born in a little state next to us. We won't really talk about that, but she's been here long enough to be grandfathered in. So she'll share a little bit about herself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 140 of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. Who am I talking about? We're talking about Jen Spitler of Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Hi.
Gotta give you some.
I want the that's it. Give me the party noise.
Yeah, so thank you for being a guest on this episode. I know you are a busy lady. You have a lot of responsibility for leading an organization, which I would consider a legacy organization in the mentoring space. Mm-hmm. We had, I believe it was, I think last month.
Was it last month? January?
Yeah.
DK?
DK Williams was on. And I had a chance to go to one of your events, your mentoring events for mentoring month for January. That's right. Mm-hmm. And we talked about there was an urgent call for more men to step up as bigs.
Yeah.
Because there's a waiting list of over 200 kids who are looking to be matched with adult men to show them check in on them, show them the way, show that they care. Now, we're going to get into the impact of women in mentoring. So tell us a little bit of your background you want to share with our audience so people who don't know you can get to know you.
Yeah. Well, I did come north a little bit from that state just to the south of us, and I landed in Ypsi and did both my undergrad and my graduate degrees there in social work. And so that's kind of my background. What landed me at Big Brothers, Big Sisters was what I think about now as social capital. When we think about our kids and we think about building social capital and opportunities for them, I was fortunate enough to have a friend who worked at Big Brothers, Big Sisters and said, I really think that this would be work you'd be interested in. So, here we go. And I'm on the Big Brothers, Big Sisters train now for 22 years.
22 years.
I know. That picture you showed of me earlier, right? With my hair was still brown. But have been with the Southeast Michigan agency for about a year and a half as that entity. We merged the Washtenaw County agency and the Metro Detroit agency, and we have offices in both Ypsi and Detroit at the Durfee Innovation Center, where we were for the summit. We have an office in that space as well.
Okay.
So we're on the ground in both of those communities specifically. But just came to Big Brothers Big Sisters through the way that many people do. Someone knew someone and said, here, I think you'd like this. So I haven't left. I don't know how that happened, but here I am.
Okay. Well, we thank you for those years of experience and being here. And when you said Ypsilanti, did you went to Eastern or
I did. Yeah.
Oh, Eastern. Okay. Yeah. All right. Shout out to Eastern. Tell me the mascot, because I don't want to.
It's an eagle.
The eagle. Oh, okay. What a coincidence, because the Eagles, the bird, I guess.
Oh yeah,
won Super Bowl.
Did a little something last night, huh? Yeah. I did do one semester at Wayne State.
Okay, well, I went to Wayne State.
I would have loved to stayed. Personally, would have loved to have stayed at Wayne, but I had to work and go to school, and that program I would have had to be in full time, and I had to pay the bills. So, Eastern was the way to go for my master's. Yeah. Great.
That's my Siri's talking.
Well,
I'm not sure how Siri jumped in on the course. Okay, Siri, stop. Okay, you're telling me the weather. Anyway,
Siri's a good friend, aren't they?
this is proof that we're a live show.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for joining us live. If you have questions or comments on our topic and for our guests, please join in. We want to recognize a supporter of the show. Georgia Cole says, "Glad you're feeling better." She joins us on LinkedIn. So thank you, Georgia, for checking us out tonight. All right. So you gave us a little bit of background. So can you share a little bit about your journey in the nonprofit sector? How did you? I think you kind of touched briefly.
Yeah.
How you end up at Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Well, it's really my journey started as kind of learning about community work and a couple of, I'll say it really started. My mother and my grandmother were both volunteers, but they were volunteers through the church. And so it was just constant, right? We were always at the church. We were volunteer Meals on Wheels, making food, singing to, the nursing home folks, whatever it was we were doing as a young person. And I didn't realize that was a career. Right? That there was this career of connecting with people and supporting them until I kind of fell into it after actually spending some time in Detroit during my undergrad. And I was friends with someone who's kind of in the union movement and was talking about a lot of, just uplifting folks in that space. And I figured out that this is what this could be. And so worked in Cleveland for a couple of years after my undergrad, actually, in tutoring programs, and then moved back to Michigan and worked a couple of kind of, gig jobs until I hit Big Brothers Big Sisters and figured out that this was the space for me. Would never have been able, I don't think, to get there without all of the people around me that either provided guidance or opportunity or encouragement, support, allowed me to kind of figure out what it was that I wanted to do or where I found my fit in the social work space. And so kind of found my way here. I always said during undergrad, I wasn't interested in working with older people and younger people. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but those were not the two populations. And my first job, intergenerational tutoring programs. So I think that is really kind of, I want to say, telling for how I landed here. Because what we do is intergenerational, right? At Big Brothers Big Sisters, with a big and a little being, of different experiences, age groups, backgrounds, and learning from one another.
Right. Wow. When you got to, you had this path that led you up to Big Brothers Big Sisters. What was your first assignment that you did when you
I
got
was
there?
a match support specialist. So I had a
Oh,
caseload, and just like our team does now,
okay.
check in, make new matches between bigs and little, and then check in with the matches once they're made, support them with whatever is going on, not only in the family's life with whatever resources or coordinating things, to support them, but also kind of helping build that relationship between the big and the little. I always say these are relationships that are not, you were sitting next to this person at work, or you were sitting next to this person in class, or, like they weren't your neighbor. You didn't just meet them happenstance. And so
Right.
sometimes it needs a little help.
Mhm.
We try to make matches that make sense, that have something in common, or something in particular that folks want to learn from one another, or kind of experience and grow in a certain way. And we try to make matches based on that. But we learn so much after the match is made of, oh my gosh, we never knew they had this in common, or we never knew,
Right.
because it didn't come out during the interview process. So, love that part of kind of figuring out, right, what space and how people
Yeah.
make sense together.
Yes. Wow. Wow. And did you stay in that role for a few years? Or
A year, a little over a year, and then our program manager left, and so I became the program manager. And then
wow.
in
Wow.
2007, we were a part of, so my history is with the Washtenaw agency pre-merge. So I'd
Yeah.
worked at IPSI primarily for the last 20 some years. But we became an independent 501c3 in 2007. So we went through that process. And
Mhm.
then, like I said, I started working with the Detroit agency in actually 2002 while they were going through a leadership transition. I was kind of working in both spaces.
Okay.
And our boards were having a conversation about merging,
Mm.
coming out of COVID. Those are really rough years, I think, for a lot of folks,
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
professionally, organizationally. And we really just decided that we felt we could do more coming out of COVID together in that 4-county footprint. So
Okay.
then have been a part of, the merged organization ever since.
Now it's interesting. I mean, I don't want to get lost into the whole organizational structure. It sounds like the different regions, they were independent 501c3s.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
have actually 11 in the state of Michigan,
Wow.
independent, their own organizations that serve different areas. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Sometimes you think of a organization like such as yours as kind of would say a legacy organization.
Well,
Do you think there's like a head and one board that oversees, you may have different
we
chapters. Like, I'm not
no.
sure if the Boys and Girl Club have a similar structure. I
I
would.
think they're fiduciary as well, not fiduciary, federation as well. We're a federation. So we have a
Oh,
national organization. There's 230 some organization around
yeah,
the country, but we're all our own 501c3s with our own boards, our own
boys.
fundraising
Okay.
mechanisms and
Okay.
programs. But we have to meet a set of standards to have the Big
Yeah.
Brothers Big Sisters name. I'm sure it's the same with Boys and Girls Club. They have to, you know what I mean, provide
Right,
similar
right, right.
programming and that
Okay,
kind of thing.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Interesting, interesting. Not to
Yeah.
geek out on leadership structure. So thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So at this point in your tenure, so you are a program. Well, before a program manager, you were the person that coordinates matching people with
Mhm.
adults and bigs and littles.
Yeah.
And then you enter into this administrative role. How did you evolve as a woman leader in this
Mm.
capacity?
Gosh, that's such a good question. I probably should have thought about that and known it was coming. As a woman leader, I mean, I don't know that I think about it as a woman leader necessarily. I've always thought about myself more as a social work leader.
Mhm.
And I feel like I've experienced this role in a different way when I look at other nonprofit leaders, not all, but in the Big Brothers Big Sisters space or in some other spaces, saw more folks leading the organization that were maybe a business background or a marketing background, or just something that felt a little bit more, I'm going to say entrepreneurial, And I was a social worker at heart. And so I feel like I come to most things with that space of learning about community and community being really at the heart and how relationships work between an individual and that community. I mean, that's really the social work, way, is how community and people kind of interact together.
Mhm.
And so I just feel like I lead in that space more than whether I guess my gender.
Okay.
Uh, but maybe, I might have a little more empathy, and sometimes, I have
Right.
a harder time being, I can do this at home with my kids more than I can do
Right.
this at work sometimes.
Okay. Okay. And just in preparation for our time, there's questions that I've been looking at, and I'm curious. Uh, is there stories that had like an impact with you that you could share that of a mentor-mentee match that really showcased the power of mentorship in your experience?
I have so many in 20 years, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
So many. When I think about the bigs and littles, I've shared some stories lately. Kaylee and Passion are a match that we shared very recently, where Passion came into the program really not overly interested or struggling a little bit with reading and literacy, and so they visited the library, and they encouraged, her big encouraged reading with her, and kind of did it in a fun way that didn't feel like you're at school. And she really showed progress in that area in their 2 years together. And I think what they said in their last check-in was that now they're ready to tackle, I think it's division. She's at that age. So we've moved from literacy to division. So sometimes it's that space of how a volunteer can attack some of those things that feel like challenges with young people in a way that's just different, than a teacher or a parent, that helps them find, their growth in that area. One of the other stories too that was really that we told, I think last year, because the match actually closed last year, was a woman who came from England, and she knew
Mhm.
she was only going to be here for a year. So her match, like, they knew going in, this was just going to be a 1-year relationship. And they just packed it all in. They had like this bucket list, and they had these goals of every outing, everything that they were going to do. And they saw everything in the community. They did taxi rides to try taxis. I thought that was a really interesting thing. They loved food and culture, so they ate a lot. They did lots of water park adventures, and being outside and trying new things. And I think that for them it was really about trying, and learning from each other's culture. The big was English, obviously, and the little was African American. And so they came from a different, like, American in England and racial background, and they really explored and talked about that a lot. And I think really kind of got a lot from that with each other. And I love that. I love their story. I think that they're so cute. And now, the little is all about getting her passport and being able to go see her big in England. That's her next bucket list, right? Is getting across the pond.
Okay. Wow. Man, that's an awesome story. And I think a lot of people want to be a part of to experience some type of experience like that, where they can look back and see they made an impact in someone's life and poured their experience and their time in sharing and connecting with someone that maybe has some similar interests.
Mhm.
But some people may feel reluctant to get into to be able become a mentor or become a big. And I'm curious, in your experience, um, what is it? Some things that people are why they may feel that they don't have the time or the skills to become a mentor.
I think it's because we live in this place and that we feel like we have to be perfect. right? Like that, right? Social media, not everything, but right, there's so much on social media that's about like the good moments and the I'm living my best life and, you know, all of those things. And we compare ourselves and we just see the world in a different way where can I live up to that? Can I live up to that expectation? Can I follow through? And I think that the other kind of, I want to say myth and like, what if something happens and I don't know what to do? Well, that's why we have staff that work with our bigs and littles and check in on them every month to make sure that the relationship's developing and that, you know, if you don't know what activities to do, here's some ideas. Or if the family's going through some struggles, how can we support them with resources and that kind of thing? So I think that sometimes it's just that space too of like, will they like me? The little, right? Like the bigs thinking, will the little like me? And so I think there's a lot of things that make people hesitant to step into that space. But what our bigs show us every day and through their match relationships, and I don't know if you said this earlier, how you said it is these are relationships, right? So they fill both people's cups. Now, yes, one is going to be older, right? And have a different sense of experience and exposure, opportunities, understanding of the world and perspective. But in a relationship, you're filling each other's cup. So Big's cup is being filled by spending time with Little's, and Little's cup is being filled by spending time with Bigs. And they're learning from each other, right? And they're learning together as they move forward. And so I think that if you're hesitant, you know, dip your toe in it. Come to an event, sign up to be one of our big neighbors and support some of our programming events by through group or different things where you can see the match relationships. You could, if you go on our website and read any of these stories, and literally any month when I share stories about, I do, you know, a variety of us, you know, these kind of podcasts or interviews, and we talk about our match of the month. It's never the big things that we talk about, Charlie. It's the little things. It's the drive in the car, singing at the top of your lungs, right? It's throwing the football and grabbing some ice cream. It's watching your favorite team win the Super Bowl, right? Like it's all the little moments that create it. And all you have to do is show up. All you gotta do is show up for the moment.
All right, you heard that, guys. All you got to do is show up, and you can. Yeah, I like I think it was you that shared something at the mentoring summit at Durfee Innovation Society last month. You talked about the moment. We talked about little moments that you may have with between a big and a little, and you talked about the car ride.
Yeah.
And you said something very interesting because I have my kids are college age now, but there's moments in the car ride where when you're looking out forward, you know, when you're driving, because you're looking out into your surroundings, and there's questions that a kid, a young person or a little, may ask that they're a little hesitant to ask face to face in front of you, looking eye to eye, but they feel comfortable.
Right.
And I thought that was very interesting, those car moments. What did you call it? Car moments? Or
they're just, yeah, the moments that happen in the car, because in our community program, right, a big goes to pick a little up at their home, they go do an activity, they come back. And I think sometimes you can look at what's happening between a big and a little, although you wouldn't necessarily know when you're out in the community that's a big and little. But if you were, you know, the fly on the wall, it looks like they're just having ice cream, or it looks like they're just having a conversation about a thing, but they've developed this relationship and they developed this trust with each other. But a lot of those things happen in silent spaces as well. And, you know, I know that from my kids and experience working with kids. Sometimes when you're looking them straight in the eye, it's hard. It feels really vulnerable, right? And I think even for as adults, right? Some of that stuff's really vulnerable feeling. And so in cars, it's when the stuff comes out. That's how I think about it. It's like when you ask the question or you say the thing, just in a moment. And we had one big and little who had a notebook that they kept in the car. And the
Yeah.
little would sometimes write a question. She was real
Question.
shy. A lot of our kids are shy. A lot of
Yeah.
the kids that come to us parents, what do they want? I want them to open up. I want them to be comfortable around other adults, or I want them to, just kind of be comfortable in how they walk through the world and experience the
Yeah.
world. And sometimes you just need a person championing you. It's very interesting. Last night or this week earlier, we have a national partnership with the NFL, and there was a press thing with Kendrick Lamar the other day before the halftime. And we have a little reporter that goes to all of these events. So it's one of our littles, and asked him about the impact of mentors in his life.
Yeah.
And he said, and I'm totally paraphrasing because I've only seen this once. He said something to the tune of, they created enough space for me to believe in myself. And maybe in the moments he didn't believe in himself, they pushed him into believing in himself. And so again, it's just, that's what mentors do. You just show up for young people and consistently encourage them, give them opportunities, experiences, perspectives that they might not have to consider what they want to be and how they want to, show up in the world when they become adults.
Yes.
It's simple. It's simple.
Wow. That's great. Let's get into how we can, as a community, be of support. So you shared a little bit of your journey with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and how you worked in administrative roles and various roles, program manager, and to led up to your 20 years of experience today. And you talked about, what are some of the qualities of a mentor, and you just showing up for someone and being available. So let's transition into how we as a community, those who be watching, can be of support. You guys have some things coming up in March. One of the things is called the Big Auction. And that's I believe March the 20th. That's March the 20th.
You're correct, sir.
All right. And let me share the slide here about the big auction coming up. And share with our listeners, what's this all about? How would this be supportive of the work that you guys are doing in the community?
Yeah. Well, and I think you kind of asked it earlier. We were talking a little bit about structure, right, in the organization. And as an independent 501c3, we are, as a Big Brothers Big Sisters, volunteer and donor dependent, right? That's how we exist. It's how we do it's how we have the staff to do the interviews, is we have to fundraise. So the Great Big Auction is a fundraiser. And so there's a lot of ways, if you're not sure you have the time to be a big, although I think we all know that you do. You just got to take the leap. But if this feels like a better fit and you can support us financially, come out and hang out at the Great Big Auction. We're going to have lots of things that we're auctioning off. It's very sports themed. So it'll be a fun night at the Cambria Hotel in Detroit on March 20th. You can also, there are other things. We have a Big Neighbors program, which I touched on earlier, where folks maybe want to do one-off volunteer experiences. You're not sure you want to be a big yet. So you can come volunteer at an event for us, or you can come do a group activity with the bigs and the littles, or there's so many ways that people lean in to supporting. If you have a corporation or you work somewhere that has, community service days, you could pick Big Brothers Big Sisters as one of your community service activities and come up with a bunch of things for our bigs and littles to do together on a Saturday or on a Wednesday night, and sponsor something like that. So there's lots of ways. Treasure, like fundraising, time as a big, talent, board members. We're always looking for board members, and folks that can help make connections and help us kind of be our best selves, whether it's through fundraising, whether it's through program development, outreach, recruitment, that kind of thing. Just lots of ways you can be involved.
Okay. I have here the actual website where people can, if they can see the screen here. So the website is BBBS Southeast Michigan.org.
Yep.
Yeah, BBB southeastmichigan.org.
mi.org.
Oh, MI.
Yeah.
Well, yes, right. Yes. BBBS southeastmi.org. Mi.org.
Here's
Mi.org.
the other thing. You can just type in Big Brothers Detroit and we'll show up, or
Yeah.
Big Brothers Michigan, and we'll show up on the list somewhere.
I wanted
Yeah.
to show more parts of that because where people can get tickets. So they're going on the website, and I saw there. Let me share this other part of the
Yeah,
screen.
there's a lot. You can go out, you can purchase tickets for the event, you can sponsor the event, you can read about our champions for the event. You don't even have to come to support it. If you want to just buy a bidder or sign up to be an online bidder, we're going to have an online auction as
What's
well.
the Golden Draft raffle ticket? Is that part of the? Is that a donation?
That is $100 ticket. There'll be just a card decks full of those, and it'll be a special raffle prize
Okay.
that will be pulling that day. So
Okay.
there's different ways you can get involved and support.
So they have a non-attendee silent auction bid, so that you can make any donation for that.
That's how you get a login to then bid for the silent auction, which will go live, I think, the week of the 20th.
Okay. Now, I was interested in the VIP tickets. What's all included in that?
Well, VIP gets you a little bit earlier and longer of a day. So we're at the Cambria Hotel, but we're going to be at the, oh gosh, you're going to hold me to this, 5 Iron. No, it's right there, 5 Iron Golf. So there's going to be a special early kind of VIP special guest and, food and drink for an additional hour prior to the event. So it's just a kind of an early entrance.
So the $100 ticket, what do you get for that?
Food, entertainment. You get some food, some entertainment, supporting Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and then you'll be there for the live auction, so you can support in that way as well.
Okay. And so the VIP is just you get a little more time.
You get a little more time and a little extra special treatment.
Oh, and for the regular ticket, you can't play the simulated iron golf.
Right.
Oh yeah, I like to. I haven't gone there. I do like to play, so maybe I may consider that ticket. Who is this event for? Who will be the best person to come to be a part of something like this?
I think anybody that just likes to get out and have a good time, right? Like, and support philanthropy. It is sports themed. Obviously, we're gonna have some golf stuff in the basement there. And I think a lot of the entertainment, the ambiance will be very sports themed. So if you're a sports lover, if you're a kid, if you enjoy kids and you want to support kids in your community, just come out and have a fun night out.
Okay. And the Cambria Hotel, if you haven't been, it is a very nice ambiance, nice place right there in the downtown Detroit area on 4th Street, near it's near the Lodge Freeway and the post office around there.
It's right.
Yeah. So
it's kind of tucked up around the corner.
Yeah. So make sure you go to the website and purchase your tickets. They can buy tickets and make donations now. Is it live?
Absolutely. You can also sign up to be a big on the website, and you can read more of our stories on the website to see what might inspire you to be a big or to come out and support the event.
Now, what are some of the items? Are you allowed to talk about that's going to be auctioned? Or?
You know what? I don't know all of the packages. I think they're still being curated. Mm-hmm. Sports theme, like suites and trips, and some big things. And then there's the silent auction is a little bit more of the, I want to say, food and local kind of entry ticket, free tickets for things and that kind of that vibe.
So the food will be like small plates with local. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to going.
Come. Yeah. It'll be a good night. I've actually not been. This is an event that the
Are
Metro
you going to
Detroit.
be there? You got to be
Of
there.
course, I'm going to be there. But
Okay.
this is event that the Metro Detroit agency had done for a number of years.
Oh, yes,
I
yes.
haven't been a part of it previous, so I'm looking forward to it because I do love me some sports.
Okay.
So anything sports themed, I'm down for.
It looks like you got some local partners, sponsors. The Hour magazine.
Yep. Yep. We have some sponsors already committed to the event. We also have champions. Lauren Winfrey from CBS is going to be our kind of mistress of ceremonies. And then we have some other local folks that are helping us kind of champion the event by sharing it on their socials and, doing some of that word of mouth and getting everything out there for folks to sign up.
Is it too late to become a sponsor?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Sponsorships, I think until the end of the month.
Okay.
The event's not till March, so we have plenty of time. We got 5 weeks still to go.
All right.
We can still print things.
You have a goal. You have a goal of how many tickets do you guys want to, or a goal in terms of the money amount?
Our goal is to raise $200,000.
All right. Let's help those who'll be watching. Help support.
Yeah. Help us make
$200,000.
more matches. The dollars support, like I said, all that work that goes into making and supporting the relationship. The bigs really do the work. But if we didn't have all of our team of staff members behind, vetting those bigs and making sure that we're making good matches and supporting families, you can read so much more on our website about our stories and what we do. But we do so much more than just mentoring. We provide trainings. We provide parent engagement activities. We do a holiday giving program. There's just so much that we do that is, we call it kind of the one-to-one plus. 1-to-1 is that mentoring relationship, and the plus is all the other things that we do to help support that family and young person.
Yes. Okay. So what we're going to do as we wrap things up and land the plane, as I would say, we're going to take a quick announcement break. We're going to come back, talk a little bit about Women's History Month and female mentorship, and give final thoughts. Is that good with you?
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a quick break. I want to highlight our sponsor for this podcast, episode 140, is sponsored by Global Connecting Consultant. Is brought to you by Bridget Williams Frazier and Global Connecting Consultant, your trusted guide through life's toughest challenges. Navigating difficult times can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to do it alone. Global Connecting Consultant offers more than just advice. It's a network of support, mentorship, and real-life experiences to help you grow and succeed. Bridget Williams Frazier knows firsthand what it takes to overcome obstacles. She's committed to empowering you to take control of your life, your relationships, your future. Whether you're facing adversity or just looking for clarity, she provides practical guidance and encouragement you need. It's time to stop struggling in silence. Take the first step towards a bright future with Global Connecting Consultant. Reach out today. Website, www.globalcconsultant.com. That's www.globalcconsultant.com. She's also an author. Check out her book called Who Am I? You can purchase this book on Amazon. Through real life stories, powerful insights, and faith-driven wisdom, Bridget shares the lessons she's learned, triumphs and challenges alike, showing you how to embrace your own journey with clarity and confidence. Whether you're a student in need of guidance, someone feeling lost, or just looking for inspiration, this book will meet you where you are and lead you to where you are meant to be. So, are you ready to discover your true self? Don't wait. Grab your copy. Who Am I? You can go on Amazon to purchase this book.
Hey, everyone. This is
Right
Hey, Detroit. Are you a Detroit area small business owner, entrepreneur, leader of a nonprofit organization, or a business service provider? And are you looking for ways to share your product, service, or your programs with a local Detroit audience? Let us help you increase your reach by becoming an ad sponsor with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast powered by Empower You Ventures. Our weekly video podcast is a growing local feature on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn that focuses on local business and community news. This gives you a chance to connect with local Detroit customers or clients. We offer cost-effective ads to fit your needs. Click the link to learn more about our current ad specials. And remember, connections matter. This is Charlie the Plug with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast.
All right, so we're back with our guests. For those who are joining us, thank you for watching us live, and those who are watching the replay. And our guest, Jen Spitler, 20 years with the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast Michigan. She is currently the president and CEO. We talked about her own journey in nonprofit work and being the impact mentors have had on her, and also watching people's journey in this whole mentorship space. And we talked about an upcoming event that we as a community can support. So make sure you guys check out the upcoming event, March the 20th. I'm going to share the slide again. The great big auction, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast Michigan, March the 20th. You can go to their website. Is this on Eventbrite as well, Jen? Or
I don't know that it's on Eventbrite.
Yeah, so you mainly go to the website, and so just type in Big Brothers Big Sisters. If you Google it, the website will come up there, and you want to get your tickets. I plan to be there. I'm making an announcement on the podcast.
I'm excited to hang out with you.
Yes, that'll be a fun event, March the 20th, and it's for a good cause. All right, so as we kind of wrap things up, and we brought you in also in honor of Women's History Month for March, and you guys were able to come in at this time based upon your scheduling. I just want to ask you a few questions pertaining to that. How have you seen women shaping the future of mentorship and leadership in our community?
Since I have become a part of kind of the Metro Detroit community at the Merge, I've met some really interesting women. I knew interesting women before, but our former CEO at Metro Detroit, Janine Gant, was an amazing mentor. She was a great colleague to work with, and I think she really moved the needle on thinking about how Big Brothers Big Sisters can impact in a greater way, a more in-depth kind of relationship way. And we talked about that so much. I've connected with the folks at, I say this wrong all the time, Student Success Network.
Okay.
And Andrea is the CEO there. And we've been working on a project with Strategic Community Partners. And Dr. Chanel Hampton is there in that organization. And the three of us, kind of with some of our teammates over the last couple of years, created a new, we use the acronym JEDI, Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. That's kind of the term we use at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that's what we took for this. And we created a new training module for organizations like ours that serve kids in the Metro Detroit area, and like Andrea's that serve kids in the Metro Detroit area, to make sure that our volunteers are prepared for working with the kids that we serve, and really seeing and understanding their experiences and being able to connect with them. And so I would say that partnership with the three of us has had such a profound impact on me in terms of the strength of women and moving the needle on elevating our work in the community. Yeah.
That is awesome. I think that deserves some applause. Yes, that's awesome. So there's going to be people who are going to watch this and be inspired, may have a curiosity of how they can be a big, or how they can make an impact as a mentor. There may be someone who's watching who may have a child that's looking, that may see a need for them to have a big in their life. There's different situations where there may be a reason to identify a need. And for those who are listening, what will be the first step for them to get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
The first step for either signing up as a big or signing a young person up is to go to our website and sign up for an orientation. And you can do that under the Be a Big, I think it's Be a Big and Get a Big sections of the website.
I just put up the website. So there says,
yep, Be a Big.
The next big thing is you. Yep.
And then there's signups for orientation at the bottom.
Okay.
For our programs. And then you can do the same thing under Get a Big. Although right now, I think we talked about at the last event that we do have a wait list of about 200 kids currently. So we are pausing enrolling new kids, although we're about to open that back up, I think, in the next month or two. But you can always come learn more and check our website for when we're opening that enrollment list back up for kids.
Now on the website, where I think it shows where you could get started with like a orientation. I think you click this button here, get it started. But I noticed that they have two areas. Programs. Yeah. Community. You want to highlight what that is? Community-based versus school-based?
Yeah, absolutely. Community-based is where you as a volunteer would pick the little up and go do something in the community together. And so you provide the transportation for the outing. You coordinate with the family on when. Some people have a really kind of scheduled, I come every Wednesday at 6 and we do, dinner and something, or every, Saturday morning. And then the school-based program is much more regimented, where you go to a school site and you meet with a little at the school. And we have elementary schools that we work with, as well as high schools that we work with throughout Southeast Michigan. And then, you come every Wednesday at noon, or you come every, Monday at 10 a.m. And so we have different programs in different areas. But it's all, you're not taking the little out and doing activities in the school base, but you're still creating a connection. You're still helping them. A couple of things I love, Charles, like the first thing I saw on your website is that does it say the ambassador? That might be of hope and opportunity.
Yes.
Like that's what mentorship and connection does, right? It gives us all hope and opportunity. And so whether it's in the school-based program or the community-based program, that's so much of what those relationships, I think, do for folks.
Yes. Wow. Okay. All right. So the website's there. People can see the office numbers, Ypsilanti, Detroit's. Make sure you guys follow on socials, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You guys have a YouTube channel as well?
We do.
Okay. So follow all on the social platforms. There's the phone numbers there if you guys want to get involved. And the website is pretty simple. Once you click the Get Started, it takes you to another window. And there's like a volunteer form that you fill out. You click that button. Volunteer inquiry form, and then you go from there. Final thoughts. If you had one powerful message about mentorship and the great big auction, what would it be?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Why not? Yeah. I saw a really cool thing of Jordan Childs today, and it was a new Nike. She must be doing a new Nike ad, and she has a new like gymnast leotard, and she's pretty bold, that gymnast. And so it just made me think, just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
No reason not to.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank our guests, Jen Spitler, President and CEO of Southeast Michigan Big Brothers Big Sisters. We wanted to thank you for being here in honor of History Month, and the impact you're having in the area of mentorship and leadership. We want to thank you for all the work that you're doing.
I appreciate your time and having me.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing you again.
And just want to encourage everybody, March the 20th, the great big auction at the Cambria Hotel. It's going to be a nice event, nice food, nice networking, meeting new people, like-minded people.
Yeah.
If you can't make it, you can still make a donation to support. Their goal is to raise over $200,000. This will help with matching young people. There's a waiting list of people who have been approved, who are waiting to be matched with an adult mentor that can have an impact in their life. So we want to encourage everyone to do that. See, I think we have a comment here. Oh, yes. Thank you, Georgia, for watching us on LinkedIn. She says, thank you so much for this wonderful interview. Thank you for supporting independent media. All right. Anything else? Did I cover everything?
I think you covered. I'm because we're talking about both. Do you have a minute more? Yes. I'm looking at these pictures. So I'm doing this project for our office because it's Black History Month. We're talking about Black joy. But we're also, you and I are talking about Women's History Month. And I've got these pictures of some very amazing women in my life. So my first job was in Cleveland, I think I said, in a tutoring program. And I had these amazing women. This is Mrs. Ragland. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. This is Mrs. Scott and Mrs. Cunningham. And this is my favorite, Miss Coleman. This was 20 years ago. This is 25 years ago. Gosh, I'm hating myself. But these women, when I think of Black joy, I think about the joy that they brought to their community and to their little group, their little clique of ladies that volunteered. They were in the schools 4 days a week helping kids learn to read. And hard days, right? Hard days, they shared with me stories about their lives and what they'd experienced, and then still just kept pouring into these kids' cups, right? I just find that to be, when I think about joy, right? These I can't help but want to, like, these are the women that inspire me, that just created a love for me of this work and pouring into kids. And so in honor of both Black History Month and National Women's Month, these are my ladies. These are my Seniors for Schools tutors.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that moment of Black joy. That's awesome.
Thank you for allowing me to share. As we were talking about women and impact, I can't help but look at them and think about how much they also poured into me as a young person, learning the ropes of working in the community. They were doing it. I was just there hanging out with them, supporting them.
That's awesome to have that experience in those role models.
Unfortunate.
Yes. Full.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, that concludes our episode. And just want to say thank you for those who watched this live episode. And if you find value in what we're doing, please like and subscribe and share with friends and family. Show the algorithm that positive content, celebrating the positive things of what's going on here in the Metro Detroit area, that people want to hear that too. So make sure you make comments. That helps the algorithm. It helps to reach more people to see this kind of content out there. So that concludes the episode for tonight. I will actually be on tomorrow, a special episode. I have a friend who's an artist. They're going to break down the Kendrick Lamar halftime show and kind of give the interpretation, because I know a lot of people are wondering, like, what does this mean? What is that going on? And of course, there was a lot of symbolism and everything. And so we're going to do a special breakdown live podcast tomorrow around 8 o'clock. So that should be exciting. So next time, thank you for those who are joining us. Be sure to support the great big auction on March the 20th. we'll leave some information in the show notes, and you guys can, we'll see you next week, and hopefully encourage you to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And if you know anybody who is in need of this organization, please share, like and share.
Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.